Hello guys, welcome to PC Drills, where you find help on how to handle your PC related issues. Today we are going to be explaining to you how you can generate a table of contents in a Word document. So that's our main topic for today. So I'm going to explain to you thoroughly how you can generate a table of content. So follow up keenly with the video, and if you have any questions or suggestions, you can ask at the comment section. So let's begin. I have this Word document that I've been working on. It's about maintenance contract. So let me just explain to you how I can set up an automatic table of contents on this document. So as you can see here, we have the main topic, we have other topics separated, like here you have definition, you have 1, 2, maintenance contract, explanation, 3, and the rest. We have main headings, 4 main headings, and then we have other subsections under section 4 like A, B, C, D up to F. I have other small points down here. So the main thing with headings are in levels. For example, these are main headings, like 1 year we have definition, 2 maintenance contract, like the main headings that you have on your documents. And then you have other subheadings. For example, under a heading you can have another heading which is a sub menu to the main heading that you have. For example, here at under this heading 4 that we have, how to write a maintenance contract, under this main topic we have subsections like A. So this A is going to be a heading under this 4, so you can see the difference. And under this A they could still be Roman 1, Roman 2, Roman 3, and so on. So there will be a subheading and another subheading under. So that's how headings work. So you need to know which ones are the main headings and know which ones are falling under which particular headings. And you should know whether you are going to keep them as the same type of heading or different headings. When I say same type or different, it means you can have like these main headings, you can say they are heading 1, and the one that comes first after the main heading should be heading 2. The one that comes inside the heading 2 should be heading 3. The one that comes inside heading 3 should be heading 4. So I'm going to demonstrate to you what you should do if you need to create an automatic table of content. So the first thing is you have to define your contents. So you have to make sure that you have defined which one is going to be heading 1, which one is going to be heading 2, and so on. So this is what I'm using. I think this Word 2016. So you need to highlight all your headings first of all. So you're highlighting each heading and you select if it's going to be heading 1 or heading 2. And this bar up here at the top right, this is what we are going to be using for our headings and formatting the Word document. So for example, this definition is one of the main topics, so I can choose it to be heading 1. But here I also have another big topic, so I can say this one is instead heading 1, and then this one will be heading 2, such that this 2 here will also be heading 2. So I have heading 1, coming down I have heading 2, coming down I have heading 2, depending if you want all of them to appear on your table of content. If you want your table of contents to contain just these other headings down here, you can just start with heading 1 for this and heading 1 for this. So meaning you will not include this main topic during your creation of the table of contents. So that's just it. So let's start. Let's put this one heading 1 and put this one heading 1 also, and neglect this main topic here. So to do that, I first of all have to highlight the topic. For example, here is definition. I highlight it. Remember, you cannot highlight the numbering, so I'll highlight it after I'll do formatting later. When I highlight it, since I want to use it as heading 1, I take here heading 1. When I take heading 1, just without clicking, you can see the way it's displaying has changed. So it was having a numbering before, but when I just hover over heading 1, you see that there's no more numbering. So those are some things that after changing your headings you will have to encounter, have to reformat some things, modify, and so on. For example, here is definition and it's labeled number 1. Here is maintenance contract labeled number 2. So if I change the 1 to be a heading, 1 will leave and this number 2 instead will become number 1. So I have to modify all of that later. So this definition, let's put it as heading 1. And when you put your heading, now you can modify how your heading should be. Whether your heading should be big, small, the size, and so on. For example, now the heading is having 24 as a font size. But meanwhile, initially these ones were having 14, 14. So I can come back here, highlight it, and then put back the 14. It will not change it being a heading. So I just have to put back the 14 as it was. But now it is a heading because when you hover over it, you can see this small indicator on the left which shows that is the heading. And if you click on that indicator, it hides everything that comes under that heading. So this heading 1 has covered the whole document. It seems it's the only heading that I've added so far. So you just have to click on it to open it back. So if I add another heading 1 to this, it's going to be different from this, since this one will be a heading 1, this one another heading 1. So when I will hide here, only this first section will hide, and then the other rest will be under this heading 1 here that I've highlighted. So I have to click here on heading 1 also, and I'll have to change the font size. It has also changed to 24, so I have to change it back to 14 as I did the first time with the first one I added. So as you can see, when I hover over it, I have this indicator here, and the numbering tool, it has gone. So here I have the indicator. If I close here, just the first part has gone. When I click back, it comes back. If I also click here, all the document will go, since everything is under the second heading that I've created. So that's just a little tip to explain to you. For example, you can be finding an error and you decide to close some particular chapters in your document or some particular headings to find your error or find a particular stuff that you're looking for. So you can use this little technique to hide some parts and then bring over some for clear visibility. So let's continue. Let's highlight the other topics that are going to be our heading 1s, and then we also make them heading 1. We don't always forget to arrange the font size. And as you can see here, we have done heading 1 for this, but these ones here that are labeled A, B, C, D, they are sub parts under the heading 1, although they don't have a topic, but there are sub parts under the heading 1. So if you want to add a topic to this, you will need to first of all create a small topic that defines what is written under here as a paragraph. If not, all your document will, all your paragraph would be as a heading. So we will not actually like a topic to be a whole paragraph of text. So we will have to create a particular sub heading that will appear as your title inside your menu, because you won't like all these big paragraphs showing up on your table of content when you have generated it. So if I just put this A part as a heading, all this will appear as an item on the table of content. Meanwhile, that's not what somebody will want on a document. Table of contents are usually containing just short phrases, maybe 5 words, 3 words, 2, 1, and at most maybe 6. So having this will not be a good idea. So you can separate it. For example, you can say maybe point 1 or first step. Let's just say step 1. This is step 1, just to differentiate. For example, this you can see here now is step 1, and then I've put the text on the next paragraph. So now this step 1, I can make this step 1 to appear on my table of content, so it will not be the whole paragraph. So on the table of content, when I click step 1, it's going to bring me to this. So since it's a subheading under the main heading, as we were doing before and as I explained, there's a main heading, heading 1, but this heading we are trying to put here is a heading 2 since it's under heading 1. So I'll click on heading 2. And you can see the size of heading 2 by default is 18. You can also modify that by checking and seeing which layout you should give. The heading ones we are giving them the heading as 14. So now let's give this one at maybe 12. Be our heading 2. So we have to create maybe step 2 here. Step 2, let me just add the other steps so that we'll just add the headings at once. So you have step 3, then step 4, so all you are trying to do here is making sure that everything is well organized so that it appears well on your own table of contents. If not, you will have some issues when generating your table of contents. But even if you have some issues, it's always very easy to sort them out, so you don't have to worry much. But you have to organize it. If not, you put a whole paragraph as a topic, your table of content will just contain like it's part of the document, just containing paragraphs. Meanwhile, that's not good organization for a Word document. So after adding all your various headings, you can still highlight many headings at once. So for example, I've created this step 6, step 5, step 4, and then step 3. So I can highlight all the step 2, step 3, step 4, and step 5 with the 6th one, and then I make all of them a heading at once. Since they are the same kind of headings, they were the same numbering, so I can make them heading 2 at once. So all I have to do is find a way to highlight all of them at the same time. And we know with Word you can press the left click, and then you highlight to highlight just one part. But now since we need to highlight the other topics also, the other portions, you need to press the control key before highlighting the next one, so that it should keep in track the other first highlighted portions. For example, if I press the control and I press now the left key, I can highlight a step 5. Meanwhile, step 6 is still highlighted, so it will not drop the first highlight that I did. So I can just control left click, and then I highlight number 4 also, just like that. Control left click, highlight number 3, control left click, and I highlight number 2. That is how I've done that. You can see I've highlighted 6, 5, 4, 3, and 2. So what I just have to do, I just have to click my heading 2. When I click heading 2, all of them, they will change to a heading 2, and I can resize all of them at once as well. So I just have to come here. Since I choose 12, I just choose 12 for all of them. Just put 12, and all of them are resized to 12. So just a simple trick. I know many people already use this using the control left click and to highlight many portions. So that's just something you can do here, so to avoid you having to highlight each and then correcting and highlighting another. So let's continue. Here we have another portion here. This one is make contracts for maintenance and repair FAQs. So let's say that one comes back to this our main headings here, or let's say, yep, let's say it comes back to this our main headings. So let's add this one as a main heading. Main heading here, I just simply mean it's a bigger heading compared to the other headings. So this one will be a heading 1. So just depending on how you want to organize your document. So let's put it as 14 as well as the others. So let's say this is all about creating our table of contents. So this is all about creating our main menus, or the items that will appear on our table of contents. So for example, here, let me just demonstrate to you one thing about these headings. Let me just create some garbage stuff here and then explain to you how headings work. What I really mean by the heading 1, heading 2, there are heading 3s also. Insert heading 4. So for example, if I put this first one as a heading 1, just take a look at the size. This is a heading 1. If I put this second one as heading 2, this is heading 2. You can see the size. This one looks physically larger than the second one because this is heading 1 above, this is heading 2. If I put heading 3 here, this is heading 3. If I put heading 3, you see physically smaller, physically larger. So the sizes keep reducing as you move further. So if I put a heading 4, it ends at heading 5. If I put heading 4 here, if I put heading 4, you can see smaller. If I put heading 5 to this one, you can see much more smaller. So even if the text were of the same number of characters, it will still be smaller in size. So for example, if everything was the same as this, so if I make Ctrl C and then I have to Ctrl V everywhere, so 4 times. So this, all of these are heading 1s. So let's compare a heading 1 with a heading 2. So going back up, I'll go back to heading 2. So this heading 1, this heading 2, same text, but look at the big gap difference we have here and the size. So let's compare heading 2 now with the heading 3. See, same text, but heading 3 much smaller than heading 2, and heading 2 much smaller than heading 1. So let's move over to this third one and check with the heading 4. Now let's move to heading 4. You can see much smaller than. So this is just the idea of you seeing how different these headings are. It's always a bigger one, smaller ones, so it depends. So if you want something to be like a main topic, definitely we use this first one. Smaller topics, this, and so on. So you can still use this as your main topic and reduce the size. So I can still use this as a heading 6 as it is here. Heading 6, there's even heading 7, up to heading 7, guys. So yeah, I can still take this heading 7 and change the size. So heading 7 here, I can still put it to be as a size of maybe 70. So it just depends on you. So yeah, numbering, it helps you to organize your headings by default, but you can still change the size of the heading if you want. So you can have some topics, but at the end the topics are still big topics. So for example, you have a very big project that you're working on, or a very big textbook. You have main topics like part 1, part 2, and then you have other subtopics. But you find out that after organizing maybe a chapter or a section under a chapter falls under heading 6, so now the topic will be too small for you to view. So you can still change the sizes and then put a different size to make your sections under a chapter more visible. So that's just it. So right now let's continue and create our table of content. Let's just remove this one so better understanding. So let me insert my table of content before the document. So it's going to take into consideration all the topics I've put. So everyone having this indication point here on the left is going to appear on my table of contents. So that's it. To insert your table of contents on Word, you have to put your cursor where you want to insert it. So if you want to insert it at a particular page, you have to put your cursor on that particular page. So if I insert here, it's going to come at the beginning. As you see where this cursor is blinking, that's where my table of contents will be. And the table of contents generally comes with its own page when you insert it. So to do that, you need to come to references. On this menu up, you come to references, you click on references, and you go to table of contents. It's generally on the left here, generally on the left. You click on table of contents. When you click on table of contents, it's going to automatically insert all the topics or the headings we have added already. So you have here table of contents. If you don't find it here on the left, there are also other options. You try checking to see if you find them on these other portions you have here, but it should be under references. And another small trick, you can click on this tell me what to do if you have it on your own version of Office, and then you just search table of contents. That way it will be easier for you if you don't find it here. So here I just have to click on table of contents. You can also click on this small drop down you have on it to show you the various options how you want your table to look like. So you can want your table to look like this, or you want it to look like this, or many other options, depends on you. So if you just click on it, it will take the first one by default. If you click on this, you will choose. So let's take the first one for you to see. If you would like to try out the other types of tables, it's still a good idea. So let's take this first one and you see what will happen. You have clicked on it, see what it has given us. You have the topic here, contents. You have here definition, maintenance, this, and you can see those topics that are showing there are mostly these topics that have this point, this indication point here on the left. So this definition, first one, and it automatically adds for you the page. That's the importance of having a table of contents that's automatically generated. So it gives you the page number at once. You don't need to insert the page number by yourself. So even if I modify my document and this main topic, this topic of page 1, if you move now to page 2 on my table of content, all I have to do is hover over it. I just have to come here and then I will see this option of update table. When I click update table, it's going to find any changes and then update them. So if I create other new topics, I'll just have to click on update table and it's going to add them to my table of contents. So that's how the automatic function works. So it gives you the page numbers and gives you the topics, and so you can see the alignment here. These were heading 1, so you can see they have the same alignment as the other heading 1s, but here we put them as heading 2. You can see there's a small gap here to show that this one is a subtopic under this one. So let me show you what I said by update. Let's insert a page break here to make this maintenance to move to page 2. And it's moving to page 2, all the other pages will also move to the next pages. So let's insert a page break. So to insert all of that, you can always come to references. Like I said, if you don't see it on references, you can also check on insert. Here is insert. You can see the page break option here, so you can just click on page break. Now this other part will move to the next page. So do whatever you do, it will be on a next page. So all I have to do is come back here and check. Here it was on page 1. Now it has gone to page 2. So all I have to do is update the table of contents. To update, I just click once on the table of contents, and then I will see this option that will appear, update table. When I click on update table, it's going to show me that update page numbers only, and there's another option of update entire table. Updating page numbers only means all you have changed on your document are the number of pages. Maybe you have changed, added some text some places, and so on. So only the numbers or the page numbers have changed. So here, update entire table. And entire table here means you have added some other new chapters or other new topics or other new headings. Let's call them headings. So if you have added some other new headings, it's preferable you use this update entire table. But most of the time, it's always good to use update entire table so that it will generate all the changes that you have made to your entire document. But it will take much more time to check. If you have a big document of maybe 1,000 pages, updating entire table will take much time. But if you have just a few pages, you will not notice that there's a time delay on it. So that's just it. So here we just simply change the numbering. So we just move from text to the next page. So only the page numbers have changed. So if I take this first one, no problem. If I take the second one, same thing will happen. So let's just click OK. You can see here they automatically changed the numbers we had here. We had 1 1 1 2 3 3 3, but now it has changed to 2 2 2. So that's just it. That's how you update your table of content. If I add another topic, for example, here this one is, let's say, chapter 5, for example, or heading 5, having just the FAQs, and it doesn't have any main or any subtopic under it. Let's just say we'll add one and then update for you to see what happens. So let's just say here they say examples of this. So let's just add a small topic here and call it examples, so that we can demonstrate on the table of contents how it gets displayed after an update. So if I just add this and I come here, remember you have to go to your home. When you are dealing with the inserting your headings, you go to home, and when you are inserting page breaks, you go to insert. When you are inserting a table of contents, you go to references. So home, you have to choose your type of table. Let's say the heading we are choosing is heading 2, and remember our heading 2 we put a size as 14. So for example, let's say you forget to change this to put it as 14, it's still the 18 as default. So it's changed, but it's still 18. So we go back to our table of contents, click once, it's not yet there, so I click update, and click once, it should show you update option. So when I click update, I have to click entire table. If not, it's not going to appear, since this first one here it updates just page numbers. So if something is not present here, it will not add it. So I'll have to click here, and then I'll click OK. After clicking, you can see these examples have added, and it's under heading 3. So as you can see, the size, as I said, we did not change the size. So the size here is still 18, but the size here for the table of contents, when you generate it, it has its own size of text. So everything here is the same size. Normally it's 11 most of the time, but it can also change. So you can see here everything looks similar, but when you come here you see that I did not arrange the size. So let me just quickly add that and make it a heading. Let me just remove the size and put its own 12. So one more thing, let's say we made an error. Let's say we put here examples instead of putting maybe a spelling error, or maybe we put examples and then we made an error with this. And then when we come to our table of contents, after updating, we notice that we could, after updating, from here update entire table. Okay, so after updating our table of content, we find out that there's an error. For example, here this shows there's a wrong spelling. Example SLAG. This one is not correct English, so you have to edit this particular topic and then correct the spellings. So to edit this, you now have to go everywhere to look for your table, to look on your document to see where this is. So you know that it's on page 5, so it's easier for us to go to page 5 and then look for it. But there's a cheaper way for us to go directly to that topic. So just click Control key and then click on this particular topic. For example, it's even showing your current document. Control plus click to follow link. So if I click here Control and I click, well, first of all, when you just click your Control, it shows you the button, the tap for you to just click on a link. So if I put Control and then I click, it's going to take me directly to where the examples SLAG is. So I just have to come here and I edit. I remove the text that is not supposed to be there. So I just have to go back to my table of contents and then I update it. After updating, you will find out that this examples AJ will no more be there. So update entire table and I take OK. Scroll back down, you see everything is corrected. So even if you add a topic and you see that there's an issue, or maybe you find out that this step 1, for example, you can have step 1, step 2, step 3, and you find out that step 4 is maybe has shifted a little bit inside, or step 4 has gone a little bit out. That's when you know that maybe the size of the heading has changed or you have made an error. So you have to edit that. So you just have to put on Control and click. For example, Control click. Let's just say this step 4 and we need to edit something. So for example, let's consider that you have made an error. So now let's update our table of contents and see the error we have inserted into this. Update entire table. Okay. So here you see, you can see something like this. Our table looks correct, but here we have step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. Step 4 is looking like it's a topic instead of a step like the other steps. So you can see here the convention of the spacing is different. So instead of us having the step 1 here, we are going to have it but outside of where it's initially supposed to be. So all these errors, for you to edit them, is just to put your, to touch your Control and then you click. So for you to know what's the error, it's just that when you see something at the beginning, know that it's a bigger topic than the one inside. So this one here is a subheading, meanwhile this one is a bigger heading. So to edit that and correct it, you just have to put on your Control. You need to first of all know which topic you want to put it. This is topic 1 and this 2. So I need to put back this one as 2, just like the other. So I just put Control click, go back to where it shows me where it is, and I just highlight and I change it back to heading 2. That will be all to arrange it. So if I update back my table of contents, it will just be arranged and everything will be okay. So remember, you need to update entire table. If not, just the numbers of the pages will be corrected. So now you can see everything is arranged back in order. So if it was instead swapped in, it means that you have increased the number of headings. So when you move from heading 1 is bigger. You go to heading 2, is instead smaller. Heading 3 is instead more smaller. So that's how the thing is. So when you see that heading is too small, it means that you have put the heading number too big. So you need to reduce or add depending on what you need to do, as you can see here. So guys, that's just it. Let's not make the video too long, but I've been having a lot of questions on how to do this, so I just decided to take this little time and then explain to you thoroughly how we do to create a table of contents automatically on Word. And you know, with this process is very important. For example, you have typed a whole document, you will not like to have to write each topic and then write its page number, and maybe you update something and you have changed maybe like 50 other page numbers. You will not like to come back all the time to edit it. And there's another one trick you can always do. For example, if I'm starting to type, let's say something here, and I know already that maybe this one in future will be a heading. Let's say I'm starting here, let's say how to put headings. So let's say this is what I've been working on, and then I know that this is step 1, and I know that this step 1 in future will likely appear on my table of contents. So when I write this, I will just highlight at once and then I will just put it as a heading 1. Or there's another way when typing. Before I write the heading 1, I just click here, I put heading 1, I just type step 1, and then I uncheck the heading 1 and continue my document. So after doing that, you have to remove it from heading 1. If you click back here and it doesn't remove, you click here on normal. So that's just it. So if you click here, it doesn't remove, click back on normal. So you can type normal or you type headings. So I can write the text, going to step 2, knowing that this is another step, heading 1. I just click heading 1, then I finish, hit enter, go back to normal. Just like that. When I come back, I will just have to give all that in my table of contents. So when I go to my table of contents to generate, all my headings will appear on it. So that's just what we are handling at pcdrills today. Thank you for watching, and we hope that we will see your suggestions at the comment section. Please like, subscribe, share, and recommend to others. And if you have any suggestions on what we should do next or how we should better explain something you didn't understand throughout the video, you can leave us a comment, and you can also give us video ideas, and we'll always try our best to make them available. See you next time, and please follow us on our Facebook page, PC Drills, and see you on our next video. Thank you, bye, and thank you for watching. Thank you for always subscribing to our channel. See you next time.